So before the day ends, I just wanted to say to all of my graduates, the class of 2022, shout out to you. Whether or not you know it, this graduation, which is a final chapter, it's a period, it's a door to basically the beginning of the next phase of your life. I just wanted to take a few minutes today to dedicate today's topic of conversation to you. Now, as you guys know here at the End Zone Club, we always like having conversations that are designed to push you from walking in potential to actually fulfilling your purpose. And one of those topics that I think every year we could probably have for the next 40 years and it never be the same is just this idea of transitioning from your formidable high school years now into your adult years, whether you're going to go from this point today, this week, next month, whenever your graduation is, but you're transitioning from the 12 hard, long, arduous years of all of the fun you had in high school to now the relative unknown of adulthood. I just want to really drop a few things with you guys that I hope that you will hear me very plainly and take it with you wherever you go. Now, with that being said, guys, we got to rock it because I have a very short time to cover a lot of time. So today I'm stepping out of my F-150 and I'm jumping in my F-16 fighter plane. And let's break the sonic barrier with this. So let's go. First piece of information I think that you guys should know is that regardless of how you feel about college, I would encourage you guys to prep yourself. If you did not have someone in your life that has a business that was able to train you, did you catch that word? Not able to train you on how to manage money, how to manage time, how to take a trade and run with it. If you don't have a trade by now, I would like to encourage you. Even if you don't feel like college is the path for you, at least get a certification. At least go to a trade school. At least get a skill that will put a certificate in your hand. But don't stop there. One of the greatest hustles, I was going to say hassle, but I want to go with the word hustle that I think exists in our economy today is this idea that you have to go to school, get burdened in debt, walk away $100,000 deep in debt, and then have to spend the rest of your life paying off said debt and not enjoying the fruits of your labor. Now, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor when it's time, but there are many high-paying, lucrative fields that don't require a great deal of debt. Maybe some of you guys were a little more blessed or fortunate than I was, and maybe you were already saving for college with a, what is it called, a 529, Cloverdale, or whatever those different programs that exist that parents are using to save money for college students. Maybe you didn't have that. So today I want to talk to those who don't have those sorts of forward-thinking people in their lives that's preparing them for the next level. For those of you that don't have $100,000, don't want to get burdened in debt, look at one of your community colleges. Some of you, maybe you were very effervescent in school. Maybe you were one of the kind of kids who got your programs done or were involved in programs, but most importantly, got all of your schoolwork turned in on time. Maybe you were the kind of kid that was always doing extra credit, and maybe now you're getting ready to walk across the stage and you've got scholarships behind your name. I promise you, take that same work ethic that got you the scholarship, magnify it by 2. What's going to happen once you get to this next stage? You'll find out that work ethic goes a long way, but also your ability to network and to effectively communicate your vision with others in a way where they now begin to believe in you is going to begin with the way you position yourself in every conversation. When you're in a room, are you the kind of person that doesn't say anything, or are you the kind of person that is really putting it out there to other people that you're willing to learn, that you're willing to engage, that you're willing to have open-minded conversations? All of these sorts of things are going to help you at the next level. No, you don't have to sell yourself short in order to be recognized by people around you. But do not underestimate the power of networking. You would be surprised how networking I done 25 years ago is still paying off for me today. So one of the big reasons I encourage kids, especially once you're at this place where you're looking at walking through a new point in life and you're starting college, is to embrace this idea that now there will be new people that you will have to learn that don't necessarily reflect the people you hung around in high school. This is an opportunity for you now to learn and to meet and to greet and to interact with people from other states, other cities, other cultures. Learn them, get a chance to know them, develop friendships, relationships with people who are different ethnic backgrounds, religious backgrounds. Do these sorts of things, and I guarantee you there will be a time down the road where you will and they will remember the friendship you guys had, and it will pay itself forward. Second of all, I want to encourage you guys to have enough confidence in yourself that you're willing to make this investment. When you were in high school, y'all remember how you had people that took roll? You remember how you had people when you had missed so many days? You remember how you had people when you didn't turn in assignments? They constantly reminded you where you were in the curb towards graduation. Well, when you get to college, sometimes nobody is really knocking on your door when you're late. Sometimes nobody's really checking to see why you didn't go to school today, or did the cat eat your work, or whatever kind of excuse you were used to making on the high school level. In college, it's more. To me, it's definitely important to have this new sense of accountability, because now, whereas your parents were getting you up every morning, you get to college, when you get to trade school, when you get to this next level of internship, now you're having to rely on that resource of yourself. Whatever level of discipline you've been given to this point is now going to begin to show. So if you find yourself falling behind, have enough confidence that you can look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I got to do better. This next level is ultimately what's going to prepare you for how you approach the next 20, 30, 40 years of your life. Let me rewind myself a little bit, because from our position as youth pastors, we have, my wife and I, with over 30 plus years of pastoral youth experience. There have been a lot of kids that we have spent time investing in this area of preparation. I don't like to see young people jumping out in life ill prepared. Some people have told so many young kids, fake it till you make it. And that's the attitude that they haphazardly go through life with. Maybe in their community or their family, there weren't a lot of forward-thinking people who were very ambitious, who were very busy, who were very about progression. And sometimes when that lethargicness that resides in some of our community, sometimes when these bad examples that were passed down from generation to generation now face young people, when you're trying to tell them, hey, let's get you prepared to break away from this mold. Let's prepare you to maybe be able to cash bigger checks than maybe anybody else in your family was making. Or let's get you now where you're able to have your own name, be your own brand, be your own person, be serious about your craft. People make you feel, and when I say people, I'm talking about sometimes the people around the ones that you're mentoring will sometimes speak to them in their ear the same level of ill will that they were given, the same level of toxicity that got them to where they're dependent upon everybody else for what they got. And sometimes you see it pulling the kids down, and you hear them say things like, I don't need college. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get a job and I'm going to make some money. And the problem is, a lot of people who would tell a kid to shortchange themselves to not prepare to make a little bit of money to not prepare for promotion, because ultimately we're trying to move as youth pastors 2 steps ahead. Whether or not you know this, even after you graduate from high school and college, you're always going to be learning. You're always going to be positioning yourself to be promoted. That comes through always learning. You're never going to stop learning. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. The moment you stop growing is the moment you lose sight of your purpose. That's when you begin to stagnate. That's when you begin to die. That's when you begin to see people that go into jobs every day that they don't like. They're unhappy. It makes them sad. It makes them sick. And it's a day in, day out, repetitive cycle. But now because they've got responsibilities like bills and different things, you always hear them say, I wish I know now, or I wish I know then what I know now. I wish I could go back, rewind the hands of time, and do things differently. Well, right now, young people, y'all are in the rewinded time. You're in the space now that people like myself and my generation wish they could rewind the hands of time, go back, and do things differently. And this is the one piece of advice that maybe we wish somebody screamed it from the mountaintop even more. Enjoy this portion of your life. But most importantly, do not immediately go into the world of work. The minute you begin to make that money, the minute you begin to get those fresh clothes and those shoes, you get a false sense of perception that this is where you're going to be at. But if you come straight out of high school, you start working, you start off $12, $14 an hour, it feels good. But guess what happens? Now you have to have a car to get back and forth to work. Guess what comes with that? These Biden gas prices. Or let's say, for example, you're driving a car. It may not be a high dollar car, but now you need insurance. Now every 3,000 to 5,000 miles you need an oil change. Now you got to get your tires rotated. Oh, you got to get your transmission fluid changed. Oh, alternator's gone out. You're facing with life decisions. Oh, now you're a little bit more grown. Now your parents that have been giving you a curfew are maybe their rules seem to be a little outdated. So what happens? Either you want to go out and get your own place or you want to move in with a friend. But with that, my friend, comes more responsibility. With that comes more bills. So that $14 an hour that you were once enjoying, able to buy PS5s and Xboxes as they come out, able to buy gift cards for Roblox and all of the games you play, now it's not going as far. Now inflation is setting in and you're wondering what happened to my money. You know how many people I know as adults that in 20 years have only gotten nickel raises? $14 they were making 20 years ago, now they're up to $16.50. But with the cost of inflation, they're living worse now than they were 20 years ago. Guys, this is a reality. That's why I'm encouraging you. Get in a craft, get in a trade, get in a skill, get a college degree that's going to translate well into life. Even when I'm mentoring young people, say, you know what, Sergeant Mitchell, I want to join the military. I always give them this advice. 2 things. Do as well as you can in the ASVAB. The ASVAB is our equivalent of the ACT, SAT. It's what's going to get you in the door and determine how valuable you can become to the military. If you score a low score, go back, test again. 30 days later, keep testing until you get the desired score. Because the higher your score, the more valuable you become, which unlocks bonuses at every level, which gets you better jobs that, whether this military is for you or not, the training you get, you'll be able to translate it into the civilian world. That's advice I give to everybody. Score high, and the second, make sure you pick a job that has a civilian sector. And it's the same for my kids. Prepare for the ACT. Even if you don't think you're going to college, take the test anyway. So now when you get to this point, you're able to prepare for this next level, because I saw a meme the other day on Facebook. And one of the kids we used to mentor told a lie. He said, nobody ever told me this, but I know we had. But he said, the thing I was not prepared for was how life treated me like Batista, you know, the wrestler. Life Batista him on his head. He was like, man, y'all better go ahead and enjoy college now. So enjoy this portion of your life, have confidence in yourself, learn to network, but most importantly, find yourself equally yoked with the people you're around. And what that means, yoking is an old person's analogy. I've never had to use a yoke, but I've seen it in basically what happens when guys and farmers, women used to plow the fields. They would take two similar animals, whether they were mules, donkeys, or whatever they used to plow, and they always had to get, or ox or whatever, they had to get two animals that pull at the same speed, or that followed the same commands, or that weren't as easily distracted. You had to get two of the same animals, because if you got a clown and then you got a quiet person together, that's going to be an awkward moment when you're pulling. So for those of you, when you're going into this moment, you're going to have fun, you're going to embrace the moment, but you have to never lose sight of your objective, your goal. That is the mission, not to lose sight of your goal. And in order to do that, find yourself around people with good study habits. Find yourself around people that are goal-oriented. Find yourself around people who may go through the dining facility, the cafeteria, and instead of eating and laughing at everybody, they take some brownies or they take some muffins, they take something to go, and you can find them in the library studying. Those are the kinds of people you need to be around. Those are the kinds of people you need to have in your corner, and continue to have that through life, because I'm telling you, if you're like me, I've got the worst study habits in the world. So to keep myself honest, I got to get some nerds in my corner, because you know what's going to happen the minute the teacher tells me class is dismissed. I'm somewhere else focusing on somewhere different, and everything I just learned is now put in the back of my mind. That, my friend, is what sets you up for failure. Now, as I'm going through my military career, now as I'm advancing in my civilian career, I'm always having to learn new things. And by doing that, I become more valuable, whether it's sitting down, taking more time to learn some Spanish, because I'm working with a large Hispanic market. That makes me more marketable. That makes it more profitable for my own career when I am able to converse with my Hispanic brothers and sisters, because by doing that, now I'm putting a foot forward and I'm distinguishing myself from the person next to me. Every day, I say this a lot, every day is an interview. However you position yourself, however people see you, if you can consistently be the best version of yourself, I promise you it will carry you far in life. May not happen overnight, but these virtues, these ethics, these things that principles that I want you to see, I promise you, they'll carry you far. But anyway, guys, I could do this all day, every day, but for the graduates of class of 2022, shout out to you, but don't stop here. Don't stop here. Keep putting your best foot forward. Get some kind of trade in your hand that comes with some piece of paper, and build from there, and never stop learning as long as you live. I promise you, you do those three things, you'll start finding yourself able to move up in the houses you're living in. You're going to be able to start at some point riding in nicer cars. You're going to be able to start going to a couple of concerts, comedy shows, whatever you like. Some of those bucket list items, you can start marking them off. Maybe it's traveling. Maybe you've never been to the West Coast and would like to see the Pacific Ocean. Do that. Put that in your vision. That once I make it through here, once I make it through this transition of life, this transitionary period, I'm going to be able to experience more than I ever have in my life, and let that be your guiding fuel. Until the next episode, guys, this is Anthony Mitchell. Y'all hold it down till we come back. Like, share, rate this podcast. Get it in the hands of the young people. This is just for them.